Swan was a really great commentary channel at one point. Unfortunately, he decided to lie about a massive YouTuber being Dream, and he managed to torch his entire career doing it. It's kind of unfortunate because I think the guy, honestly, if he came back to YouTube, could probably be fine and make good videos, but yeah, he definitely ruined it. So today we're going to go through some of his lore, my connection to it, and a little bit of a commentary history. We're going to watch this video about Swan, learn about how his career got destroyed, and you know what? Maybe I'll have some lore to drop along the way. I might.
Every tragedy begins with a hero, and the fact that Swan's rise and downfall is so fascinating is a testament to how good of a hero he was. Starting out ridiculed by others, John rose to the top of the commentary genre within only a few months. It was the right amount of talent, quality and presentation that captivated everyone. But then, where did it all go so wrong?
I had a good take.
It looks big. It looks massive.
Jacob, I will show you what real blackballing looks like, because I will make sure no one ever works with you in any...
Dude, I forgot the "it looks massive." That audio was from a Discord call that was recorded of him watching gay on Discord, which is so funny. I'm not even like mad about that. It's just so funny, dude. It's just hilarious. I don't even know how that got leaked. I don't know who released that, but he was just watching like gay on Discord with some friends, and he was like, "That thing is massive. That thing is absolutely massive."
Serious capacity. I had a good take.
That's a yes.
You need to go off, you need to log off. You need to like leave online settings, and this stuff is gonna haunt you now forever online. If you know, then you know. That's all I'm gonna say.
How Swan destroyed his career. A world of lies.
Swan was born on May 6, 2001 in South Africa, and at a young age, he and his family...
Well, he's African? He's like an African-Australian. That's crazy. I mean, I didn't know that about him. I didn't know he was like that. I mean, I gotta respect him a little bit for that, for sure. W Africans in chat, all right? Bow down. Swan is a young African gamer who got canceled for his Africanness. Okay, low taper fade reference. What? In what way did I reference low taper fade? The craziest thing is no one in the commentary community would have cared if he hadn't lied and risked everyone else's credibility for no reason. Yeah, like realistically, who would have cared that he was trolling around on Discord messing with Dream? Like nobody. But I think the problem is that he kind of built himself up to have this like image where he was like, "I'm such a good guy. I would never do something like that. That's beneath me," you know. He had this like esteemed reputation, and he didn't want to allow Dream to have an own on him, which wouldn't have even been that big of an own. He would have moved past it fine. Like if I told you guys that I was trolling on Discord a couple years ago and I pretended to be Dream and like said some bad words, would you guys be surprised? That seems like something that I might do, to be honest. You know, I don't engage in Discord trolling these days, but that does seem like something I would do. I'll admit it. Me changing my profile picture to Dream and saying the N-word on Discord, that seems like a thing that I would do, to be honest. You know, I'm kind of ashamed about the fact that it wasn't me this time around. None of it would have mattered. Yeah, exactly.
Family moved over to Australia. We don't know all the details of his early life, but we do know that John was kind of a sheltered kid. His parents quickly enrolled him in violin lessons, and it completely captured his interest. Unlike everyone else, John didn't really watch TV or see movies or play video games, and that's what made a world like the internet so appealing to him when he discovered it in around 2012. By age 13, John had made his first YouTube channel under the name of Lapis Gaming Official, and over the next 6 years, he would go from posting Minecraft videos to an interest in graphic design and Photoshop. You can see this from his earliest available videos from 2018, which are iPhone and Samsung ad parodies. John would also make videos reviewing songs by young cringy rappers from the perspective of a natural musician, and over time this developed from general cringe culture to the commentary community. When it began, this new and fledgling genre was mostly dedicated to making fun of kids online, but by 2018 it was now a place where commentary channels critiqued and called out other YouTubers for their heinous actions.
I was thinking about that the other day. Isn't it crazy how back in the day just bullying children on YouTube was so... YouTube really has changed. It used to be Leafy would just pick some random autistic child to make a video about, call him, and that was it. Like, that was like banger video, dude. Fucking $200,000 that month. Like, it's pretty shocking that that's the way things were. I think that's probably one thing that, you know, one thing that people don't really talk about, that standard changing very much. The thing they talk about more is like, well, they were so edgy, they said the N-word. Like, I'm thankful about the fact that we're not bullying kids anymore on YouTube. I think that's probably for the best. You know, picking a random 12-year-old from YouTube.com and ruthlessly making fun of them, probably not a good thing to do. I'm glad that did change. H3 put the kibosh on that. I mean, H3 was being hypocritical, but it is good that that standard changed overall, you know, past that point, I would say.
And that kind of place really appealed to John, who also had a keen interest in topics like speech and debate, a subject he claimed he has won state competitions in. There was a certain shift in John's kind of content, especially after one of his videos speculating on Logan Paul's sociopathy got around 100,000 views. In 2019, the YouTuber Just Destiny issued a copyright strike on LT Cobra, a smaller channel who had made a video making fun of him for his weird titles and thumbnails, sexualizing kids from—
Oh, these thumbnails were crazy. Yeah, that was not good. That was not good. This was even after like the era of bullying kids was such a big thing. Because to me, the era of bullying children was like 2016 or so, right? 2015, 16. But then like a while later, this guy was like putting these, you know, I mean, very weird thumbnails together. I assume he regrets that looking back. I assume he's changed that now. Just Destiny. I think he changed his channel name even. But yeah, definitely putting pictures of sexualized children in your thumbnail, not a good idea. Not a very good idea at all. Very gross.
Dr. Phil and TLC. The 15-year-old LT Cobra would make a response, leading to Just Destiny sending him a cease and desist. The drama erupted into a huge situation, the commentary community picked up their pitchforks, and John's subsequent video was one that stood out.
Oh, there's my video about it. Look at that, dude. I forgot this drama entirely, and I also forgot that John was even involved. But I do remember making that video, for sure. I think I was still in high school when this happened, actually. 5 years ago, almost 6 years ago. I was probably still in high school, for sure. She's only 14. Yeah, putting she's only 14 in a thumbnail with a picture of the 14-year-old in like a bikini is foul. That's absolute foul.
Propelled by a shout-out from resident drama gnome Keemstar, it ended up gaining around 100,000 views. It's worth knowing that whilst this video may look like the usual standard now, this was back in 2019. All the big, high-produced documentaries on drama content, all the Sunny V2s and Internet Anarchist didn't really exist bar a few outliers. If you were a commentary YouTuber in 2019, your videos either looked like this or this. They weren't meant to look like this.
If you're not aware of this situation, Just Destiny has made quite a name for himself.
That's definitely the case. His videos at the time, I remember the editing getting so much praise. And like if you look at his videos now, I mean they don't look bad, but it is like pretty much everyone's doing that, and a lot of the editing he was doing was like presets, but overall like the editing for the time was certainly a bit of a game changer. Can I actually find his channel? Did he delete it? Is it no space? Maybe that's it. Thoughts on the Dookie situation? Dookie is guilty. Where is his channel? Did he take it down? No way. Okay, it's still up. I just couldn't find it for some reason. Yeah, these older videos, like this one, for example, like this was pretty fucking fire editing for the time. The way these looked, you know, with the particle effects and all this shit. I mean, Nick Diorio was doing some of this stuff for sure. I think John's editing at the time was slightly better, even though John was kind of ripping Nick off a lot of the time. John did have good technical ability, but for the time that these were, especially like in let me see here, what year was this, 2018, 19? Yeah, for 2019, May 2019, this is a pretty good looking video. People were not editing like this. Most YouTube editing was fucking bad, straight up. Didn't have nice transitions. You know, for my videos at the time, to give you context, they look way worse than this. Let me see here. So around the same time, this is what my videos looked like.
Oh, get this shit off me! Ah! Okay, so here we go. Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
Like you can see, like it's not the worst thing in the world, but it's much more simplistic. You know, I didn't have a ton of effects and stuff. I was just editing pretty simple stuff in Sony Vegas. But you know, John Swan definitely at the time his editing was pretty much a game changer, I would say. Pretty much a game changer. So I think Toastify is probably right about that. The Destiny Jelk Olympics has redeemed any bad takes. The Jelk Olympics? Is there a Jelk Olympics that I'm unfamiliar with? Your editing was funny? Yeah, it was funny, but it just wasn't like super polished. It wasn't super professional looking. It had its moments though.
In all the wrong places and for all the wrong reasons. Despite his 1.7 million subscribers, Destiny still thinks it's a good idea to use sexually explicit photos of children in his thumbnails for clickbait. Several people called him out for this indecency, to which he responded by acting like the 12-year-olds he criticizes in his videos.
In the face of a new generation of low-effort and run-of-the-mill commentary channels came a counter-reaction.
Well, there's Aiden Projects. Dude, Aiden, he got his channel like 800K when he had, he was like 12 years old or 13 years old when his channel got to that point. Isn't that insane? 800,000 subscribers for being like 13 or 14. And the way that Aiden blew up in the first place is he got scammed by Chubbs. Chubbs was another commentary YouTuber that Aiden did some editing work for. Chubbs ghosted him and didn't pay him. Then Aiden got on Drama Alert. He got like 150K subs from that. Then he started making daily slop reaction videos, and that got him to 800K. Looking at this list of people, are any of these people, Aiden is the only one still around. Scrubby, no idea what happened to him. Haven't heard from him in like years. Loki, this guy, I have no idea where he is. Cyrus, I mean, he got accused of being a and then just kind of left and now does music, I think. Benji got his channel deleted for bullying kids, I think, is what they said. All these people are not around anymore except Aiden. Aiden is the only person who stood the test of time, basically.
A palette of channels with fewer videos, but with higher production value and effort. People you might have heard of, like Nerd City, Jay Aubrey, The Right Opinion, Black Wolf Company, and indeed John Swan. At the time, Keemstar was also influencing some of these newcomers to do his dirty work, and having been recently promoted, John and many others were wary of this. In response to Keem, a lot of these new YouTubers decided to make a group chat called the New Commentary Order, or NCO, a place made for the purpose of letting creators grow without Keem's influence. And John was there as well, but it wouldn't last long.
I was in that group chat. I was in that group chat for sure. It was like me, Red Opinion, a ton of other people. Fun fact. A little bit of a fun fact, okay? You guys may not know this. I don't remember exactly the year or time that he left, but Jay Schlatt was in that group chat back in the day. That's not a joke. That's not a meme. Jay Schlatt was in that chat. I think he left the second his first like video, not his first video. He had a video about Minecraft that was like a video essay that blew up. And that's when he left. He was just like, oh shit, I had a video do well. I'm leaving this gay group chat, which in fairness is exactly what he should have done. Because group chats are fucking cringe. But he was in that chat back in the day. Holy Sigma, I remember watching you and those guys like 6 or 7 years ago. That's cool. A lot has changed since then, for sure, dude.
The group basically collapsed after Keemstar, of all people, was invited to this group to deal with the Just Destiny situation.
There was a point in time any Minecraft content just automatically blew up, but that wasn't really the case. Like, when he made that video, Minecraft was kind of dead. And he made that video, and coincidentally around the same time, Minecraft content started to pop up again with like Call Me Carson and PewDiePie, people like that doing Minecraft. But I remember that video came out, I think when Minecraft was kind of at a low point.
Unexpectedly, he worked with Zoom, a doxer and Keem, along with certain members of the NCO supporting him, attempted and eventually succeeded in doxing Just Destiny. And after that was exposed, it was curtains for this ambitious but ultimately weak project. I mean, they had it coming. They had welcomed in the wrong reason they made that group chat in the first place. But John's next step up the YouTube social ladder had just broken.
To be clear, I don't think... To be clear, I don't remember who exactly was involved in the doxing, but I don't think it was Jay Aubrey, and I don't think it was me. I don't believe I had any hand in doxing him. Because I remember when that shit was going on that night, I don't know what was happening, but for some reason I just wasn't super active in the chat. But I remember this drama going down, and for some reason, not even out of virtue, I just happened to not be involved or something. I kind of got lucky. I think I just happened to not be involved somehow. Honestly, I could have been, looking back. I wouldn't have been surprised if I somehow was in some way. Just looking at how crazy the community was to an extent at the time. But I don't think I had any involvement in this whatsoever. Also, I think they didn't dox him publicly. I could be wrong. I think they just got his dox privately because Keemstar had some suspicion that he was a sex offender or something. I want to say, but I honestly vaguely remember this drama.
However, a much more permanent connection that John had made would be with a number of small but up-and-coming commentary channels. One of them was Nicholas Diorio, a co-host of the popular drama podcast Sharp from the Point, with its permanent host and creator, Tommy C. You may recognize Tommy from Keemstar's podcast Baited. Nick was a total newcomer to making videos and had only recently got the job as co-host, but one of his first videos was an expose on Keemstar and the NCO for their doxing deals, which completely blew up. John also became friends with Augie RFC, a commentator who was coming up through live streams, making a space for creators to all hang out. When the NCO's members were questioned about their involvement, John came onto the show to face them. He would also strike up a long-lasting friendship with the aforementioned LT Cobra, alongside connecting with Augie and Nick's friends like Boblax and Tipster. Yeah. By the end
Base group right there, dude. Shout out Tipster. Shout out to fucking Tipster. It is kind of crazy thinking about how much this little group has changed. Tipster is like, I don't know, he's in like the trans community now or something. Boblax is, I don't know what community he's in. I guess he exists, right? Augie, I mean, I guess he's kind of around, but, you know, not like he used to be. You know, he's here and there, I would say, very touch and go. I think out of everyone, I think me and Nick are the only ones that like are consistently posting content right now. I think so. I could be wrong, but I think that is the case. Augie, actually, he was one of my good buddies way back in the day on YouTube, and he interviewed me on his channel. Augie RFC. I think it was on the Red Fox Comms Turkey Tom. He interviewed me a long time ago, I think. Here's a little clip from it, I think.
You're on the air.
Dude, oh god, I finally fucking made it.
Dude, what Dude, what is wrong with your AIDS laptop?
Dude, it's not just my laptop, it's like me.
That's me, chat. That's me.
What do you mean, dude?
I think there was like 3 people watching this stream, to be honest. I don't think that anybody was actually watching this. The full VOD's still on a Twitch channel. Go check it out if you want. But yeah, Bo Blaxian Trichonomics community base, dude. Keemstar wanted to dox him because he thought he'd find his real name on the sex offender registry. Yeah, that's what I thought it was something like that, Saku. Something to that effect. Saku was also in there. He was in there, bro. You sound like you're on HRT. I was 15 years old, so I basically was.
In 2019, John was in a pretty good position with a lot of friends. He had even bagged himself some work as an editor for The Right Opinion, and had made a couple of appearances on his videos discussing proof for fake DMs and his knowledge on copyright issues. He had also started working for different projects, such as the Pescator channel, which was meant to be a competitor to Keemstar's Drama Alert. But was Johnson respected as a creator, or merely just admired for being a good editor? He was definitely talented, but some of his arguments, like his posturing over the process of creating reaction commentary, definitely didn't resonate.
For those who don't know what this is, hold on.
Some of his arguments, like his posturing over the
Okay, so here he says, Nick says define bad content. John Swan says apology should have clarified. Content that degrades a person's mental state while watching, basically, lol. Consciously or unconsciously. So what the debate was at this time, for anyone who thinks this slop debate is new, the conversation around slop content being bad is not a new thing, okay? Back then, there was a conversation being had about reaction commentary versus, I guess, like topic commentary or like video essay commentary. Essentially, there were all these guys like Cyrus, Scrubby, Benji, Aiden, who would do videos in the same vein as Leafy, where they would like react to something and have gameplay, right? They would do that. And they were really successful and popular, you know? And then there was like this pretentious side that was like, fuck reaction commentary. And that was honestly like me. I, at the time, was like making my little video essays. I was like, I can't believe you would put so little effort into your videos. And looking back, it's like, well, Tom, you're a child who doesn't want money. They wanted money. That's it. They wanted money. They had fun making videos. The videos were fine for the most part, as far as I remember. And they made a bunch of money from it. It was entertaining. So, like, literally, who cares? But back in the day, this was like the fucking... this was the divide. It was like such a pretentious thing. It was such a fucking pretentious thing that I was on that wave. John was on that wave. A lot of other people are very pretentious about what is good content and what is not. Slop is just free market in action. People will watch what they want to watch. Yeah, exactly. The real problem with slop is if someone's lying in it, or like spreading up false and misinformation, something like that, right? But generally speaking, there's nothing wrong with just making content that's like, you can criticize it or whatever, but to say that it like degrades a person's mental state while watching it, like as if a video essay is like so much higher art that's talking about the same shit, you just have nicer editing, is insane. Forgot about Scarce. Yeah, Scarce by this point in time wasn't super active on YouTube, I don't think, actually, but Scarce does exist.
Process of creating reaction commentary definitely didn't resonate with others. And whilst everyone was covering drama situations in one of the most crazy years for drama, John set out to make a humble documentary about the game Minecraft, the game that he'd started his YouTube career playing. John was relentlessly mocked by others for such a decision, and when it didn't perform well upon release, he went back to covering drama. Ironically, since then, the video's gone on to gather 1 million views.
Was he relentlessly mocked? I don't remember that being the case. Was he relentlessly mocked for his video? I thought people liked it, honestly. I also don't remember that it bombed. Maybe I was one of the ones relentlessly mocking him for it. Do you remember I Hate Everything? Yeah, I loved I Hate Everything. His videos are fucking fire, dude. I hate Marvel movies. I hate Duh Plant, all right? Some of his classics, all right? Respect to I Hate Everything. One of the Tom inspirations early on, for show.
So, what was John missing out on? What was going on in early 2020?
You tried to do the FBI, didn't work! You tried to do the police, didn't work! So instead, he resorts to the paycheck!
Of course, Onision, famous...
The Onision drama back then was so funny, and I honestly regret that I didn't care. The reason I didn't care is because a bunch of women cared, and I am an incel, so I hate women. So because the audience of people watching this were mostly like there was a large collection of middle-aged women who really hated Onision and were obsessed with calling him Onion and calling him Greg. And I just hated the content. to be honest. At the time, I was just like, this doesn't matter. But eventually, I did come around to the fact that Onision's one of the most entertaining people on YouTube. The problem, though, is if you want to make a video about him, there's so many people who have already done a video. You have to, like, really stand out. So if I did a video about Onision, it would actually have to be, like, 6 fucking hours long. It would have to be so long. This was YouTube's first pedo. That's not the case at all.
Famously hated YouTuber from back in 2015 who was under constant fire from resurfacing allegations of grooming and pedophilia. Onision's extensive history of derangement was the subject of interest for literally everyone. Reddit wine moms, Tumblr users, many YouTubers, Chris Hansen of Dateline NBC fame.
Tom Onision used to ask for videos of his underage teenage audience members dressed up in bras so we could rate their bodies. I know what he did, but he's not the first guy that was criticized and called some kind of creep on YouTube. Even close. Not even close.
And the Right Opinion, who was working on a massive series regarding Onision. But he had to face facts. Onision was a deranged sociopath loser who probably did groom those kids. But the coverage from Chris Hansen and multiple other YouTubers that were milking the situation, they were all outright saying that he was going to jail.
Yeah, all of them were so insistent that he was definitely going away. He was definitely going to get locked up. It's over for this guy, right? And the Onision drama, it reached such a fever pitch that you had a lot of the people who were on the side of being against Onision acting very improperly. There was a whole drama between Nick DiOrio and Shiloh. Shiloh being one of the victims of Onision, right? Like, there was an entire drama where she was trying to get people to flag his account down. They fumbled the investigations. It's possible. I honestly don't remember all the details. I remember Vincent Nicotra, a guy who worked for Chris Hansen, did fumble some evidence for sure, as far as the chain of evidence with... I think he was given, like, a laptop that he was supposed to submit to the FBI, and instead he, like, cloned the hard drive, but tampering with the evidence, and then he didn't give it to them for some reason, but I don't remember all of it.
That was far from the brutal truth. Grooming is technically not a crime in the US, and any of the crimes that his victims were alleging had a lack of evidence and based itself more on testimony. In fact, the best way that Onision would have realistically gone to jail is from him destroying the wetlands outside his house. Apparently the rumour is that when making his Onision video, the Right Opinion knew that saying Onision isn't going to jail was controversial, even if it was right. So, rather than stating it himself and getting a potential hit to his reputation, he decided to hand it down to John, and John took the opportunity with open arms. He made a segment which is now on a video that has over 4.5 million views, and John's willingness to stand on an opinion like this in the fire of vicious opposition definitely earned him a lot of respect, especially...
Yeah, that's how big the Onision drama was back then. Didn't Repsion make like hundreds of videos about Onision? I think he's made literally hundreds. In fairness, he's been covering him for a long time. So there's 51 videos in this. Okay, this is not all of them. There's no way. I'm 1000% positive there's more, because his whole channel blew up off Onision stuff for sure. He was absolutely destroying it with Onision content. He didn't go to jail because I'm pretty sure he didn't break any laws. I don't like him. He's despicable, but you have to break laws to go to jail. Yeah, I'm not sure if he broke any laws. I'm not sure. I think technically everything he did was legal within the states he was doing it. Like, I don't think any girl I could be wrong, but I don't think any girl he had relations with that was young was technically below the age of consent in that state. I could be wrong, but I don't, I'm not defending him, to be clear, but I don't think that he technically broke a law regarding those interactions. I remember there was this podcast way back in the day. It was an episode of Hot Wet Soup with Sear. Vincent Sear. He's like a member of OTK, I think now. He's like kind of a big streamer guy. But he, back in the day, he went on that podcast because he used to be Onision's friend, and he made the case that Onision's entire moral framework is based around what is legal and what is not. So, like, if Onision found out tomorrow that it was legal to, fuck a 10-year-old, he might do it because, in his mind, the entirety of morality rests around, the consequences that come from it deemed by society. That was the case that Sear made. I don't know if that's the case, but that's basically what Sear said about Onision, and Sear knew him personally, so it's possible he's right. But I don't know. Just an interesting little tidbit there of lore.
Especially with those who'd become disillusioned with the insane campaign fueled by Onision's ex-Shiloh and the Anti-O's, as they call themselves. Going after Onision was one thing, but going after others and saying they're associated with him because they're criticizing how the whole situation's being handled is something else. So, where was John's next project? Was it further into the Onision case? No. Instead, he decided to reach out and restart a dead drama that he had missed out on from last year. With around 300,000 subscribers, Susie Lou appeared to be just another blade of grass in the...
Oh, this girl was so annoying, man. I forgot this whole drama. I also didn't make a video about this. I was always, with this community, I was always friends with all the guys, but I wasn't, like, making videos about all the stuff they were making videos about. I don't know why. I don't think I ever made a video about Suzy Liu, but she was this like anime reaction channel that would just sit and watch anime and add nothing to the content. And then someone made fun of her and she had like a mental breakdown. It looks like she's still doing it to this day, actually.
Hello and welcome back to more Dragon Ball. I'm here with my reaction to episode 4.
Let's see her reactions.
Goku. Oh, not again! Not again! Just grow it back!
Great commentary. Great commentary here. Who else Tom in their live right now? Me.
Oh,
It's like Sniper Wolf for anime.
Anyone seen my arm?
Listen, I can just grow it back because you didn't.
All right, Jesus Christ. Goku fell for the oldest trick in the book. Suzy Liu frustration power level 2000. These comments are cancer. It's horrible. I still think the funniest thing about Onision is he failed basic training, then told others to thank him for his service. Like, bro, what service? Did he fail basic training? I thought he actually was in the Navy for a little bit, and then he got like dishonorably discharged or something. Did he fail basic training? How do you fail basic training? It's called basic for a reason, bro. Why do you call her the Groiper Queen? What about her as a Groiper? In what way is she the Groiper Queen? I want to agree with you, but I just don't understand.
Field of reaction YouTubers who stare at other videos with their mouths open. But what separated Suzy from the rest was that she was no stranger to controversy. In 2019, a small YouTuber called Mark After Dark uploaded a video on a game.
He got discharged for not killing an animal when his commander told him to. Is that true? What kind of animal? If you can't kill an animal, you're probably going to have a hard time killing a person, right? So, you know, if you're in the military, probably not a good trait, I guess. But I don't know if that's true. It was a bunny. They were making him kill a bunny? A bunny? What? I don't think that makes any sense. They wanted him to kill a rabbit? I would think they would want... I don't know anything about basic training, but a rabbit? Do they make you just massacre bunnies in basic training? I don't think that's true.
Game called The Last Guardian VR. In this video, he decided to include a 23-second clip from Suzy's own playthrough where she cried at the game's ending. This innocuous and slightly mean-spirited meme was too far for Suzy, and she marched on it by issuing a copyright strike. What's interesting about this is that the person who issued a copyright strike, aka Suzy, had built her entire career from barely reacting to anime, and she most certainly did not have the legal right to upload her reactions. Listen, I will back piracy any day of the week, but falsely striking YouTubers because they made a joke about you? That's crazy.
It is, but you also find that a lot of the people who are the most ardent abusers of the copyright system are copyright abusers themselves, right? Like people who will abuse the copyright system to silence others ultimately will be ones that are ripping other people's content off all the time. And when their content gets quote unquote ripped off, they have fucking mental breakdowns, right? You wouldn't download a car? Maybe I would. I would download a car if I could, for sure.
Suzy Liu would later issue copyright strikes on Tipster on a video where he simply interviewed a fair use lawyer about her case, and she would also later go onto Augie FC show to be confronted by other YouTubers. Once there, she was told to show her report history, which was filled to the brim with videos about her.
Oh, no. You gotta see video. We can't see that.
We need a screen share.
We need the screen share.
Whoa, hold on.
Lots of GG Reloaded though.
Yeah, lots of GG Reload.
Oh no.
Yeah, we can't have.
And you
the
can
screen
look.
share.
You can scroll down too. Like, where's the scroll?
Oh my.
Wait.
Look on the right hand
This is
side.
not-
You can scroll down.
This is not a good look, Suzy.
Wait a
Yeah,
minute, it's all the
that's
stuff talking about the story. Wait a minute.
Yeah,
Wait a minute. Suzy, no.
This is literally like an exact repeat of the does anyone in chat know who Mundane Matt is? I don't know how much of like internet blood sports, old internet autism you've seen. Do you guys know who Mundane Matt is? June the King just made a video where he mentioned this stuff. Mundane Matt was like this anti-SJW YouTuber back in the day who got big because this like cringe blue-haired libtard girl had like flagged him down. And he made a career off of that, and then it turned out when people were making fun of him, he was flagging down people's videos, and essentially he got caught for it on a live stream in a very epic moment. It was pretty bad. Like, he was like denying it, and they were like, all right, well, just show your flag history, right? And he was just refusing to for a while. Like, he was like, I'll send a screenshot, and they're like, no, show your flag history. And then he's like, all right, guys, I just got to let you know, I've been going through a really dark time, and I haven't been myself. Like, the waterworks start, and then he shows his flag history, and he'd flagged even more videos than they could have ever anticipated. And that's like what this is. This is like a repeat of that. Stepped away, what's the lore tonight? We're talking about John Swan, although I've gotten pretty sidetracked here, but Yeah, anyway, going back to the subject at hand.
Now, all this occurred in the middle of 2019, so why was it now being brought up? Well, Susie's ability to get away with her false copyright strikes, especially on Tipster's video when he didn't even use her content, it was all very suspicious. And those suspicions were all but confirmed when she turned up in the newest edition of YouTube Rewind. Not only that, but her channel was also temporarily terminated before being promptly put back.
I completely forgot she was in YouTube Rewind. She's not even a, like, if you have 300,000 subscribers, you probably shouldn't be in YouTube Rewind. But she was that embedded. She was that fucking embedded with the YouTube community. Why don't you have the remove dislike YT extension? I just don't really care. I don't particularly care how many dislikes someone's video has, I guess. I'd rather see YouTube like the majority of normies or whatever, all right? I don't know, I just don't care.
Up a few days later. Again, really suspicious because a lot of YouTubers don't get their channels back that quickly unless they make a stink about it on Twitter. All of this was a perfect topic for John to cover, because if you know his content, you also might know of his expertise and skill in copyright law, something that he developed a bit of an obsession with over the years. This was what intrigued him with the Just Destiny case in the first place. This was his bread and butter.
Anytime someone claims to be an expert in copyright law, or any kind of law, and they're not a lawyer, I'm probably going to think they're retarded. And in fairness, a lot of people who are lawyers are also and actually don't know anything about the law. So a lot of the time, it doesn't really, a lot of the time it doesn't really hold up. If anybody's just talking so much about how they're an expert in something, it can be anything. If somebody tells you they're an expert in Star Wars lore, do not trust them. They're lying, okay? They're lying. I hate the Smug Goose character so much. Yeah, he should have done like a Ed's World ripoff like I did. That's what he should have done instead of this drawing, you know.
And so, in March 2020, John Swan uploaded Susie Lou, the most problematic YouTuber you've never heard of, and it blew up. What separated it from everyone else's videos at the time was that it collected everything into a nice, easily digestible video that was both interesting to those who knew nothing about the situation and those who knew everything. The video also had a few cameos from other YouTubers in the community, and of course, we can't forget the editing skill and the presentation. There was one final thing that propelled it into the algorithm: its takedown. Due to some jokes about the size of Susie's forehead, she decided to flag the video to her partner manager, and it instantly went down. But
oh my god, I remember that. This is right after, I think this is right around the same time that YouTube changed their rules, because it used to be on old YouTube, okay? You could just make fun of anyone. But back in the day, you could just make fun of anyone for any reason. You could call them fat, gay, anything you wanted, okay? You could do it. But now, okay, you really kind of, in a lot of cases, can't make fun of someone's appearance. They've gotten more relaxed about it lately, but there was a time when you couldn't make fun of someone's appearance on YouTube at all. Even calling someone's forehead big was like, you couldn't do it. You couldn't do it. Literally, she got it flagged down by her partner manager instantly. And this is right after they changed that whole rule. Because they actually had this rule that they implemented for intrinsic attributes. And within the intrinsic attributes thing, they literally quoted, I think it was either a Leafy is Here video or a Colossal is Crazy video. They were like, you cannot include lines like, look at this kid's fucked up tooth. Look at his fucked up snaggletooth. You couldn't fucking... Do they still care about this? Not as much as they used to, I don't think. They seem more relaxed. But there will probably be a time when they crack down again. It's so funny how extra large were the first to sell out. Hey, they're not fat. They're bulking, all right? It's the winter. It's winter bulk. Winter arc. You guys know what's up.
John's persistence and the community support of the re-upload turned it into a success. Within 2 videos in a few months, John had established himself inside the community as a creator. His channel shot up to around 50,000 subscribers within a month. The fact that John's videos had so much effort put into them, were so well researched and yet so infrequent, made them into an event that you dropped everything to...
I want to be honest, they weren't that well researched. They were decently researched. They, for the time especially, they appeared very well researched because the majority of people would just shit out a video in one day and he would spend like a week on it. But, you know, I don't think they were that well researched. So to my knowledge, he actually wasn't very good at research at all. He would just copy other people's videos and mash it all together into one piece of work. But his editing was good. As an editor, he's undoubtedly great. If John Swan wanted an editing job, I'd probably hire him.
Go watch. And his new subscribers awaited his next video. But who would he go after next? To get the context of John's next video, we need to rewind back to 2019, the height of the Onision situation and the many YouTubers spearheading the hate train against him. One of them was Chris Hansen. Wait, the Chris Hansen? Yes, that Chris Hansen, the one known across America and possibly the world as the guy with the show where he baited child predators to houses and caught them with their pants down.
It's so strange to me that this guy was like a part of the YouTube community at the time. Like, that's so fucking weird. Isn't that weird? Isn't it weird that Chris Hansen from Dateline NBC was interacting with, like, Onision Spurgs on YouTube? That shouldn't be the case. That shouldn't be the case. He should have maintained his prestigious vision, or the prestigious reputation he had as the host of Dateline, you know, NBC, To Catch a Predator, instead of, like, coming on YouTube. I'm pretty sure he was desperate for money at the time. I think he was he was trying to get people to cash bad checks or something, and he had some government investigation against them or something to that effect. I don't know exactly, but yeah, he should have just never joined the YouTube community. When mainstream celebrities joined the YouTube community back then, that's how you know they're at a low point. Now they're at a high point, and that's why, like, Ronaldo has a giant YouTube channel.
Both figuratively and sometimes literally. So, wait, what on earth is he doing on YouTube? Well, to answer that, you gotta first ask what happened to his show, To Catch a Predator. Chris Hansen lost his spot on Dateline NBC after one of his pedos shot himself when the police came, followed by a $105
Why'd you say one of his pedos? One of his
$5 million lawsuit.
They're one of his, like, buddies.
Suit dropped on NBC, and then a scandalous affair with a young news reporter. Over the years, Hansen looked to the internet for a new lease in his career's life, and used Kickstarter to restart the show under a different name. And hey, he got a new job on TV, and the show started getting predator catches. But Hansen's many supporters were promised things for the support. Stuff like t-shirts, mugs, hats, the usual. Eventually in September 2017, Chris bought $13,000 worth of merchandise and paid for them with a check, but Hansen's checks bounced. And in early 2019, Hansen was in serious trouble. Not only was he arrested because of his bounced check that paid for the merchandise, but the arrest revealed that he was in over $1.4 million worth of debt.
You would think that somebody this famous, like, I feel like Chris Hansen, unironically, is probably one of the most famous journalists of the past 20 years. Like, everyone knows who Chris Hansen is. My parents know, all my friends from high school know. I mean, it's not because of great journalistic work, it's because of, like, you know, some good journalistic work and then a lot of memes from his show and shit like that. But everybody knows To Catch a Predator. Literally everybody. The new sweatshirt came in. Gotta say, you don't disappoint. Told you. Go easy on the chatters. The YouTube autocorrect is absolutely brutal on phone. It just changes entries. It changes entire sentences. Does it really? Is that why all of the super chats are wrong and don't type English? But the problem is I can't understand it.
Thankfully for Chris, the Onision wave had rolled into an entire tsunami, and it captured his interest. Chris started looking into the case, and was soon doing regular streams with massive turnouts, where he interviewed integral people to the Onision case, like victims, prominent YouTubers, and former affiliates.
I'm out of nicotine again. It's rough right now, man. I'm gonna be honest, chat. It is fucking rough out here for me.
Having the guy known for catching pedos on Onision's case, knocking on his door asking him to have a seat, hearing his panicked call to 911, all this was crazy, and insanely good PR for the crowd against Onision. But Hansen was not perfect even in this area. Over the months, Chris's interviews had slowly gone from key figures to everyone and anyone who was somewhat affiliated to Onision, and it wasn't as if he was handling the situation well.
At one point, I think he was interviewing, like, random chatters who just claimed to be, like, Onision experts, basically. Like, people who claim to be an expert about Onision, some random person with like 1,000 subs he would bring on. And he would treat it so seriously. He'd be like, welcome to Tonight with Chris Hansen, where today we're talking more about the YouTube psycho brat known as Onision, also known as Gregory James Jackson, the gay guy. Like, it was like embarrassing, you know? Like, at the time, it was like, okay, you know, I was on YouTube watching it, I was like, Chris Hansen, that's cool. But then as time went on, I was like, this is just sad. You're like 70 years old. You shouldn't be doing this, man. You should be retired.
Either. Sarah, a victim of Onision's partner Kai, claimed there were explicit pictures that Kai sent to her when she was underage. Hansen got in touch with his contacts at the FBI and told Sarah to send it to Vincent Nicotra, a web designer and internet guy, as Chris describes him, who was working for Chris for free. And contrary to Sarah's belief that it had been sent to the FBI, the laptop was actually just sitting in Vincent's office for months.
Like, the way that you know that Chris was so down bad financially is that instead of, like, hiring some journalism friend in the industry to help him out, he hired this fat idiot from the internet who he didn't even really know to do this work for him. That's what he did. That's literally it. Like, come on. Kate, why are you so ardently defending Chris Hansen? I mean, I'm not saying Chris Hansen's evil, but he doesn't seem like the smartest guy in the world, certainly. He seems like a silly dude. You know, acting like this case is fucking so dead to rights. He's my dad? Oh, okay.
Vincent himself was going crazy on Twitter, posting people's doxes and sending this to Chris. Chris, this has gone far enough for the trolls. Sorry to ruin your New Year's Eve, but I'm taking matter into my own hands with a fucking N-word troll. That's right, I said N-word because this troll is a fucking N-word.
That's awesome. That's right, I said it, because he is one.
It's not up for discussion and debate. My family is attacked. Maybe if I got paid, I would be more calm and talk to a shrink about this bullshit.
And frankly, you know, me saying that has nothing to do with his race. His race, I understand why you would think that it has something to do with his race on account of the fact that he is a member of that group. But my usage of that word was not in a hateful setting. It was simply because he was acting like one. I would have said it about a white guy just the same.
Whoa. So it's nice to hear that this laptop was in the right hands. As a result of this meltdown, Vincent was fired, and Chris got in Mike Morse, an attorney from Detroit, who was dealing with a number of sexual assault cases against him. And as time went on, Chris appeared to become way more desperate for money, and would try and get it any way he could, promoting scams like a dodgy cleaning product that claimed to kill the coronavirus during the height of the pandemic, advertising for the campaigns of anti-Semitic politicians, or promoting a phone
Advertising for the campaigns of anti-Semitic politicians?
to the pandemic, advertising for the
What anti-Semitic politician? What anti-Semitic politician was Chris Hansen advertising for? Are there very many anti-Semitic politicians out there today? Was he like, I'm Chris Hansen, and I support America first? Like, what was he saying?
Campaigns of anti-Semitic politicians, or promoting a phone sold by the family of Pablo Escobar, which was just...
This was awesome. I don't know. We couldn't even just gotten normal sponsorships. Couldn't even gotten sponsored by, like, Aura. I feel like he's popular enough. He could have gotten sponsored by, like, Aura or Raycon or Dollar Shave Club. He had to get sponsored by the Escobar Fold, a phone made by Pablo Escobar. I don't understand. I really don't understand how he was in such dire straits. I mean, certainly these companies, you know, that aren't in the mainstream media, that aren't advertising on TV because they're advertising with YouTubers, wouldn't care about his reputation and be willing to give him a couple $1,000s. Can you still buy the Escobar Fold? So there's actually 2 Escobar Folds. Holy shit, look at this. Marquez Brownlee reveals the FBI contacted him over Escobar folding phone. Tech YouTuber Marquez MKBHD Brownlee has revealed what happened the day that the FBI contacted him. He uploaded a short video showing off the $400 Fold, a gold Android phone that looked just like the Samsung Galaxy Fold. As it turns out, it was a Galaxy Fold with a gold sticker over the back and a hinge on the phone. After removing the sticker, MKBHD discovered a Samsung logo. And so it was literally just a repackaged Samsung. How did they sell it for so much cheaper? Was it just stolen, I assume? Brownlee claimed the company was shipping phones to YouTubers and people they hoped to get positive comments from, and then allegedly not shipping devices to others. Those people were getting scammed out of their money. Honestly, in hindsight, I don't know how they thought they were going to get away with this. Eventually, their whole plan backfired after I made a video about the whole thing. The CEO of Escobar was arrested for fraud after allegedly failing to deliver almost 600 phones to customers. Yeah, shocking that the guy who works for Pablo Escobar was arrested for fraud. I mean, frankly, I am really surprised. They were refurbished, but also it was much more expensive, I believe. So they did do a markup. I thought they were like stealing the Samsungs and then selling them, but I guess they just didn't ship them to anyone.
Just a Samsung reskin with a bumped up price. He would also be putting up a cameo and reading pretty much everything.
I hear you've gotten into the Epstein pilot program.
Like, I feel like if I was sorry, that clip caught me off guard. I heard you gotten into the Epstein pilot program. I feel like if I was Pablo Escobar, then I somehow managed to come across a oil tanker of Samsungs, I would just sink that fucker, okay? Take the phones, put, you know, my crime gang's seal on it, and then just start selling it. I feel like that's what you do. You, like, sell it at a lower price. Pablo Escobar is dead, Tom. Thank you very much for your advice and knowledge.
And plugging an anti-scam book made by a known con artist. Furthermore, when Chris finally had the opportunity to interview Onision himself, something he'd been building up for this entire time, he fumbled. He placed too many checks and monetization barriers, and Onision slipped away elsewhere. All this had been building over the last few months, and was finally compiled when John Swan uploaded these 2 videos looking at Hansen's history and his various scams. John's Hansen videos felt like he had leveled up his editing and storytelling to a higher degree, with one of them having 3 million views as of today. And
that does look nice. To be clear, a lot of these are presets and templates, but they still look nice, so credit to him. They do look good. It's a good looking video. You can't deny it. They felt more cinematic, I would say, than the average commentary video. Pablo Escobar is super dead. I don't think you're right. I think he's alive.
At the end of his second video, John teases a mysterious part 3, but part 3, whatever it was, would sadly never come to fruition. Alongside Vincent Nicotra and Mike Morse, Chris added another affiliate to his team.
Remember when Hansen dropped down and got his eagle on? What does that even mean?
A stalker and doxer named Anonymous Gene. Gene would start posting the doxers of Onision and his family, and would engage in harassment campaigns against those critical of Hansen's work. And Hansen would be there with Gene privately, you know, they were
Are you talking about like the Reich Eagle, like that kind of thing? What are you saying?
Friends, they were talking in the DMs. When John posted his first video, Gene posed as Onision and tried to take the video down with a false copyright strike. This was stopped by none other than Onision himself, who stepped in and said that he was being impersonated.
Thank
And
God.
from there, it really escalated. Gene went from harassment campaigns and false claims about John botting to probably being responsible for a temporary mass Twitter banning of Chris Hansen's most vocal critics, of course with Chris still affiliated and talking to him more than he talked to his own kids. Hansen was ducking questions on stream about him from John supporters.
He was like, his kids are calling him. They're like, hey, are you coming to Thanksgiving? He's like, yes, I'll be there soon. Hangs up the phone. Dialing Vince. Hello, Vince. What's happening with those N-word trolls? Are we working on the situation? Vince is like, yeah, and also we just got another shipment of Escobar folds. They're coming in real soon. We're going to make bank. Good job. I'll talk to you later. I can finally go to Thanksgiving with my children after talking to Vincent Nicotra.
And this all led to Gene doxing John Swan and contacting his high school friends, saying he was a Arguably the worst of Gene's actions was him going after John's younger sister, posting pictures of her from school. This was one of John's toughest periods, and his video discussing and exposing all of it in January 2021 led to immense backlash against Chris Hansen. Sadly, despite all this, Hansen has been coasting off his legacy and still has a sizable audience. But the damage to Chris was done, and this was John at his best when making videos.
Yeah, most people don't know about any of this Chris Hansen shit. Chris Hansen even, he went on Impulsive not that long ago, as in Logan Paul's podcast. I cannot imagine what riveting commentary happened during that podcast between Logan and Chris Hansen, but he did go on. I didn't think Chris is this down bad. He is, yeah. But I mean, like Toastify said, he gets to coast off his legacy. Is he still posting on YouTube? Okay, here's his channel, 400k subs. 2 months ago, The Chris Hansen Show, Episode 1, Attorney Tony Busby. Crazy name. Let's sort by most popular. So it looks like, yeah, so one of the most popular videos to this day is a Onision video. He hasn't live streamed in 4 years, but it looks like at the time he had Beck. Who is Beck?
It's 8 o'clock now. So
good evening, Chris Hansen here from New York City, and you are live listening.
I like that intro with Vincent.
It's 8 o'clock now. So
good evening, Chris Hansen here from New York City, and you are live listening and watching to Have a Seat with Chris Hansen on my YouTube channel. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Happy New Year. I hope you had a wonderful holiday, as you can see. And as I announced earlier, we're going on Thursday night this week because obviously yesterday was New Year's Day. We continue our very important investigation into Onision, Gregory Jackson, and his wife Kai. Allegations of grooming.
You know, to his credit, he does have a very memorable delivery. He definitely feels like he almost feels like an old-timey TV guy from I don't know, the 30s or 40s he would see in some noir movie. Chris should have praised Skibidi. True.
And I do want to talk about that briefly, because whilst there are many videos out there on John Swan, none of them stop and appreciate how good he was at the time, even though that's a crucial part of his entire story. I think most people can agree that John's Chris Hansen videos are the peak of his career. The fact that he was going after someone with such a revered reputation, who had still done some pretty things, was a case that most probably won't be able to navigate, but John did. Not only that, but John's impact on the community was visible. Some of John's editing effects, transitions, and general video style were being copied by every small and new commentator on the block, many of them being fans of his. John Swan became the new standard of quality ethics and journalism in online drama. He brought around this new lick of paint to the commentary community, one that's lasted to this day. Additionally, because John was a musician, he was also skilled in audio issues, and his microphone generally sounded better than
I want to be honest, I don't know that he definitely changed the standards. He definitely helped things out. He definitely had an image that a lot of people liked, but I don't know that it was like, you know, like I think it's just he had good editing, to be honest. I think he just had good editing. He had good editing. I think that's basically it. Like, I don't see a lot of similarities between him and Sunny V2, to be honest. I could be wrong. Maybe Sunny took a lot of inspiration from John Swan, but I feel like it's really just the editing. Because the thing is, like, you know, in the end, John's research wasn't that great. He was ripping it from other people. He was a pathological liar in certain cases. I trust Toastify. I mean, I believe that Toastify was probably heavily influenced by him, to be honest, but I don't know that it was like influencing fucking everyone, you know, to a crazy degree. But he was good. He was good. You know, you can't take that away from him. He was good.
Everyone, which is worth noting because he would connect and help many other YouTubers with their mic issues. But whilst John's editing was high above anyone...
True, he did actually, he did do audio on one of my videos. I think it was the Ethan Klein video that I made with Nick Diorio back in the day. The one that They got like, I don't know, a million views is how many it got. It was my most viewed video for a while. But yeah, I remember he did audio processing on it, I think. Were you friends with him? Not really. I did talk to him here and there, but I was not like good buddies with him or anything like that. I think we had very few conversations outside of like group chat conversations. Thank you, Queen Czar, for becoming a member. Appreciate you, brother.
Anyone else in the scene, his scripting was quite different. Writing has never really been John's strongest suit throughout his career, and you can tell by watching some of his older videos. Yet John's videos on Suzy Liu and Chris Hansen performed excellently, and they were surprisingly strong in their scripts. As it turns out, Nicholas Diorio had also made videos on Suzy Liu and Chris Hansen a few months prior, and similarities between their scripts seem to come up a lot, especially in John's second video on Chris Hansen. This wasn't a collab like later projects, this was a claim of plagiarism, a claim that John had been copying parts of Nick's videos.
If these people sound like they were born yesterday, that's because they actually were. The Nano Vapor Biotech website was literally
These clips are fucking egregious, by the way. John was literally repeating word for word everything that Nick said. But at the time, Nick just didn't seem to care that much, or at least he didn't want to look like he cared because he thought it would make him look fucking cringe. But he straight up ripped off like so much, like not even just the research or the points in order. He would rip off the specific wording and phrasing and the delivery. He would like hit it in the same way. What's your social security number? Could be anything.
registered from GoDaddy.com one day before the stream with Chris Hansen.
If it seems like these people were born yesterday, that's because they probably were. The website domain for this revolutionary product was registered the day before the stream on Chris Hansen's channel.
Why does your hair look like Lego piece 15443? Lego piece? What is this Lego piece? Hold on. I mean, why does it? I don't know. It just does. It's not my fault. You know, it's just the way the cookie crumbles. Like, you know, would you make fun of someone for being black? I don't think so. Same
but
thing.
Holly went on to say some incredible things. The most insane one was where she insinuated that Onision now has confirmed kills.
Holly goes on to tell Chris that Onision has confirmed kills.
This allegation began to gain some steam when Tommy C referred to it on a live stream. I took two lines from Nick's video, this one and the one around the Holly clip. Why? Because they said it better than me. Both of
Bro, Tommy C, for those who don't know, back in the day, all right? Back in the day, a little bit of YouTube lore. Back in the day when I had maybe 3,000 subscribers, Tommy would have me on his show. Tommy would actually invite me on his show. And even way back before that, before I even had a YouTube channel that I was really uploading to, I had called into his show to talk about drama before. I was a huge, you know, viewer of Tommy C back in the day. Tommy, to his credit, with pretty much everyone, with John Swan, with Bo Blacks, I'm sure there's other examples I can think of. He'll like he'll like smell something fishy about someone and he won't be able to explain why. So he'll say something and then people will be like, "You're retarded, you're crazy, whatever." But then like 2 years later, he'll end up being really right. Like, he was like a perpetual hater of Bo Blacks for a while. He was a hater of John Swan. And people would be like, oh, you're jealous. You just hate him because of this. You hate him because of that. And he would, like, find one wrong thing with them. And he'd be like, this is how this guy is. This guy is crazy. They would be like, no, that's not the case. And then he would end up being right. You know, Tommy C's not always right, but he is often right. More than people give him credit for. Same with Max. Yeah, he had the same with Max. He shit all over Mama Max for a long time. Tommy C was how I was introduced to your content. Yeah, back in the day, Tommy used to plug me all the time. He used to take me on a show. He used to let me be on a show and talk shit. He interviewed me. He defended me through a bunch of dramas back in the day. So, yeah, Tommy's cool. Tommy's swag. He's got the sixth sense. I mean, maybe it's just called being from New Jersey. I don't know. But, yeah, Tommy is often right about people.
Of Nick's videos are cited in the description. Text and journalism with a similarity less than 15% is considered acceptable. Good luck finding anything close to that. Okay, John, that is what I said in the podcast. You took 2 lines and that is all I said. That's really lazy in my book. That was my only criticism. I had another version in the script, but I went back and watched Nick's videos again, and I just thought his was better, so I used it. This has nothing to do with laziness. He does not see the big issue, and I do not see the big issue.
But that is laziness. Like, if you can't... If you just give up writing a better line and just take someone else's line, like, that is still taking it, right? It has nothing to do with laziness. Well, if you're too lazy to write a better line than Nick wrote or to rephrase it, then, like, what other word is there? What other fucking word is there? John Swan, okay? I'm just saying.
It's 2 lines. Okay, that is your opinion, but I think taking others' jokes that you admitted to is kinda lazy. If you can live with it, okay, fine. I took the part where you talked about Onision having confirmed kills, if that's what you're referring to, because I found it really funny. I don't know why you're saying jokes in the plural. It was once. Once in the entire 38-minute video. What John skipped over was that it wasn't just 2 lines from Nick's video. There were plenty of other jokes and passages that had been ripped from Nick.
Which is really easy to do when you'll shout out literally anyone, including your detractors, for just $50.
I'd like to give a big shout out to Nicholas Diorio.
He will even go as far as to shout out one of his biggest detractors.
Chris Hansen here of Hansen versus Predators, to catch a predator and have a seat.
Like, the weird thing about it is the line from Nick isn't so good that you can't rephrase it, right? Like, Nick's writing is good, but with this specific line, it's not like you can't phrase it in a different way. Like, you could even just be like, one of the really funny things about Chris is that, you know, a lot of people will pay him on Cameo, and he'll, you know, he's so desperate for money on Cameo that he'll accidentally shout out people who don't like him. Like, you can just say it like that, instead of saying it in the exact same phrasing that Nick said it. Thanks for the dono, the Melian. Thank you, Steven, for becoming a member. You and Tommy should make a show called Commentary. I like Tommy's streams. I'll go on his streams if ever he wanted me to. I'd do it. Commentary would be a funny name for a show, actually. It would be. That would be a funny name. Commentary. That would be pretty keck, to be honest with you. Commentary. It's not even funny. There's nothing good about it.
I'd like to give a big shout out to Nicholas Diorio.
Never mind the fact that I paid him to make that just to throw it in Shiloh's face, who is, by the way, one of the alleged victims he's representing.
Nick paid for this clip just to rub it in Shiloh's face. And remember, Shiloh is one of the alleged victims that Chris Hansen is representing.
And what?
Like, it's the same. It's not that hard to just rewrite the line. You could just rewrite it. It's not that impossible. It's not that hard to do. I just don't. To this day, I don't understand why he would just rip the lines. Like, you can make a video that has roughly the same content as someone else's without taking like all of these specific lines. Like, if it's one line and you're quoting something, or you just like you're reading similar quotes, or a few of them have similar phrasing, whatever. But this is like exactly the same. Like, he just watched Nick's video and was like, "This line's good. It's going in mine right now." I bought the last of the Gooner merch. Thanks, bro. Hope you enjoy it. Appreciate it.
What you'll find is some very conclusive stuff. The research by NanoVapor was done.
Have ChatGPT reword it for you? Do not, dude. I've had people offer to do work for me, and they'll send me stuff that's clearly written in ChatGPT, and it fucking sucks. It fucking blows. It's horrible.
On site at private medical clinic. Yes, this product works so well that the clinic that performed the test doesn't even want their fucking name associated with it.
Overwhelming scientific consensus that they were trying to sell you on, that this is a very good product, it's so effective that they can prove it in only 2 pages with large type font in a PDF for a study that was done in private medical clinic.
The study in question is 2 pages long with large type font and was done in private medical clinic. Yes, the clinic
Come
who provided
on.
the premises for the study didn't even want their name attached to the product.
Oh my
Hey guys,
god.
Chris Hansen here of Hansen versus Predators, and to catch a predator, I just wanted to tell you all that I've seen this amazing new smartphone called the Escobar Fold 2. Hey guys, Chris Hansen here of Hansen versus Predators, and to catch a predator, I just wanted to tell you all that I've seen this amazing.
It's all the exact same. I just don't. Well, this one's not as egregious, but still, it's pretty close. I guess he just never thought that anyone have a problem with it because Nick at the time didn't express anger towards him. Or Nick just said he wouldn't call him out for it. I don't really get it. To be honest. I feel like there's no reason to do this long term. Like, you know, eventually you're going to get called out for it. And if you're being so lazy that you're ripping lines from Nick, who's okay with it, eventually you're going to rip lines from someone else who's going to have a fucking mental breakdown. People on YouTube don't like plagiarism. It makes sense. So, yeah, I don't know.
Amazing new smartphone called the Escobar Fold 2.
Well, in case you're unaware, the brand name Escobar actually unironically comes from Pablo Escobar, who, by the way, was famous for being a Colombian drug lord who was also the founder of the Medellin cartel. At the time of his death, his net worth was estimated at
It's Medellin, Nick.
$30 billion in 1993.
You know, Colombian drug lord who was the founder and sole leader of the Medellin cartel.
Medellin. So we have Medellin, we have Medellin and Medellin. Is it not Medellin? I think I'm right, dude. All right, it's because I took Spanish in high school. But if I'm wrong, then actually I was lying and pretending to be wrong. And I was actually right the whole time. The fact that John said narco terrorist, I think that's why it's so easy to tell that he ripped Nick off. Because who the fuck, other than Nick Diorio, says narco terrorist.
The king of cocaine, the wealthiest criminal in history, monopolizing the cocaine trade into the US in the 80s and 90s, and was also responsible for the death of over 3,000 people.
We all know you pronounce it like that because of Narcos. I've never seen Narcos in my life.
However, this entire situation didn't really go anywhere past this. Most people who cared about this agreed there were more pressing issues. On top of that, Nicholas Diori himself didn't want to push the issue, and later stated that he did feel slighted by this, but didn't want to comment because John was blowing up at the time, and it would dampen his friend's success and make him look like a dick.
And back when this happened, like, I felt awkward about it. I didn't want to say, like, holy dude, my friend is stealing from me, okay? I don't, because, I mean, that sounds pretty gay, right? I don't want to be the guy on Twitter who's being like, oh my god, because John Swan was a big, successful YouTuber at the time who was pulling in, I don't even think the combined views on my two videos were 200,000.
I think looking back, I feel like Nick, if he had shown all of these clips in one compilation, I feel like he could have easily made the case that John was ripping him off, and I don't think he would have gotten that much shit for it. In fairness, Nick, I think because of the way that the Bo Blacks thing went eventually, like initially, with him criticizing Bo Blacks, and then Bo Blacks had that mental breakdown on a live stream, I think that he was slightly, I mean, the term traumatized is kind of, you know, overdoing it. But I think he did have a little bit of internet trauma because he got so much shit for it. So he was like, all right, well, I'm not going to criticize, you know, one of my commentary friends unless they make a really huge fuck up, you know? So he was just letting me get away with this. But I feel like Nick could have probably made the case that he was ripping him off, and I think they would have agreed with him. I think he could have done it.
This video did 800,000. So until John's whole life and career ended, there was no way for me to argue about this without sounding like a petty bitch who was like jealous of his current success.
And that wasn't the only issue with John Swan.
Hey, commentary community. I'm outside right now touching some grass. I think you guys could all take a little bit of advice from that. Remember, the internet isn't as serious as you may think it is. You may think a lot of the things hold more weight than they really do. Try and get outside. Touch some grass sometime.
Though John...
Bro, I remember this video. I recreated this video at one point. I don't know where it is. It's probably on some, I don't know. It's probably on some old Twitter account or something, but I literally, when this happened, I just recreated it. I like went for a walk in the woods and I just, I was like, the internet's not as serious as you think it is. I remember recording it like 4 times. What's wrong with his grass? He's Australian. That is what he looks like. Yeah, I think that anybody who's telling you very out of the blue, like very condescendingly to go touch grass, they're probably someone who is actually the most terminally online person. And he seemingly was at the time. I think one of the most important things as far as like not being terminally online is that when you aren't online, you aren't thinking about being on the internet and you're actually spending time with people outside of it. But this is a big cope you'll hear from people who are like, hey guys, hey, you may be criticizing me right now. Maybe I did fuck something up, but actually I didn't do anything bad. I'm actually a good guy. And even if I'm not, it's not that serious. Okay, this is internet shit. It's like, come on, bro. Sounds like something Denims would say, yes. If you back her into a corner with some kind of argument, she'd be like, just go outside, who cares? Definitely, 1000%.
John had elevated himself to admiration and fame, he seemingly kept hanging around and f***ing with smaller commentary channels. I know there's a saying of never forget where you came from, but John...
Forget where you came from. You need to forget where you came from. Blow up and act like you don't know anybody. Yeah, I remember at the time, John Stone was like, he had this like little group chat of like 5 different high school commentary channels, and they would just like shit it up on Discord all the time. And it was just like why? Like what? Like why are you on Discord all the time with these fucking retards? You should be making videos. I feel like my impression of him was that he liked to feel like the smartest person in the room. And he is a smart guy, but it's really easy to be smart, to seem smart and feel like you're really intelligent and unchallenged when you're hanging out with fucking like high schoolers on Discord. If you're 20 and your friend online is 15 years old, you're going to feel like a fucking genius compared to that guy. He's not going to argue with you whatsoever. So that was my mental assessment of him. He liked to feel on top. I don't know. It was because he didn't get that in high school. Like he wasn't popular, or maybe he was popular in high school and he wanted to relive that later on. I don't know what it is. I'm not a psychological expert here, but yeah, he doesn't need to make friends and he just steals content. True. Very true, Carrie.
John was directly interacting with these people and getting involved in situations he really didn't need to. After his initial blow-up, his actual next target was none other than Raintism, a small commentator who'd been doing YouTube for 10 years just for the result of a
Raintism. Who the I know this name for some reason. Raintism. Does he still have a YouTube channel? Augie RFC makes fun of raintism.
Fucking wonder this bitch is fucking single for the longest fucking time. In fact, as a matter of fact, she told me to. No, as a matter of fact, too, no fucking wonder why for the longest time she was fucking single, because every fucking boyfriend that she had dumps her within the few fucking months because they knew how fucking insane she was, as a matter of fact. Her last fucking boyfriend, so fucking ballless, dude.
What is going on?
She tell her stories about her last fucking boyfriend.
What is going on? Who is raintism?
It'd be the same if I took this light bulb here and broke it over my head.
What the fuck? Why did he do that?
Raintism, don't come up with no good video idea.
Why is he breaking them over his skull?
He's grabbing a poster of
Legends of Chima. Okay, I'm clicking off that. Legends of Chima was a shitty ass line though. Okay, Ninjago was cool. Legends of Chima, I remember I saw that, I was like, dude, this is cringe. Lego, what are you doing? You making furries now? Go back to making ninjas. All right, go back to making ninjas.
Easily 400 subscribers. Raintism was a bit of a lolcow of his day in 2020. After being made fun of by John and a couple of others after he was defending another commentary e-girl, long story, Raintism went off and tweeted hours later that John making fun of him had led to a heart attack and he was in the hospital. This is something that he later admitted to faking. John would end up milking Raintism for all that he was worth in a
Twitter drama. Before we had the Brad Taste excuse of, please don't be mad at me, I'm disabled. Then we had, please don't respond to me, I'm a minor. Now we have, don't make fun of me or I'll have a heart attack and go to the hospital. So don't tweet me. Awesome.
Stream and a video on his second channel mocking him and his leaving TwitLonger. Again, whilst it's absolutely fair to make fun of a guy like Raintism, the fact that John had gone to the extent of making this much content about a total nobody is worth noting. Another small commentator who John got involved with was Elucid. One side primitive short video essays with flashy lights, and the other side just being a typical run-of-the-mill commentary YouTuber. Elucid and John Swan didn't really know each other, apart from John helping Elucid in a false copyright hit against his channel in mid-2020. Their connection is because Elucid was accused in late 2020 of pedophilia. The allegations seem to be strong, but within the same day of them being...
Man, remembering all these names is crazy. I remember basically every name from this video from some point in me being on Twitter, interacting with the commentary community. I forgot all these fucking names, dude. Elucid. To be honest, apart from a few people, this is a terrible community full of spurgs. And I think that probably Nick and Augie would agree with me there. I think they would agree with me. How are we 24 minutes in? I have a lot to say. I've been very distracted. It's my bad.
Published, John Swan started up a stream intervening. Within an hour, he and everyone else had concluded that the current evidence against Elucid was fake and unreliable, and everyone's opinion on the situation turned instantly, which is yet another testament to how much impact and influence he had on the community. Interestingly, something that barely anyone had picked up on at the time is that John's logic to disprove the evidence was totally wrong. The entire idea revolves around the fact that the Instagram UI was wrong, which is incorrect, and the iPhone screen recording had massive spikes of lag, which is totally normal for the hardware. Elucid was essentially falsely cleared by John, but the most well-known case of John fucking with small commentators is Pieman. Unlike Raintism, who always hated him, and Elucid, who didn't really keep up with him, Pieman was a die-hard fan of John Swan and his content.
Pieman had some good videos back in the day. What are a couple? I think he had a video blow up and get like 1 million views at one point.
He'd started his career with a huge 3-hour video going over the career of LT Corbett or Soph, an old commentary channel, and it was an impressive achievement, especially for someone who was only 15 at the time. On Twitter, you could see Pieman regularly interacting with John's tweets alongside his other friends, and when John later made a request asking for parody exposed videos on him for stream content, Pieman answered the call, and his video was the first to be featured by John, and that decision was intentional. Did he have the best editing or writing in the world? Not really. But what matters about Pieman is that he was a young kid and you could tell that he was putting his heart into making videos. However, things weren't to last. It begins as all online tragedies begin on Discord. In one of the many...
Pieman did make pretty good, he had the one video about, it was like, what happened to Stamper's Helpers, and they got like 1 million views. It was like a short list video. He also did make a long video about Corbus. Why do you bleep bad words in some videos and not others? I mean, ideally, I wouldn't bleep any bad words. To be honest, I mean, sometimes the answer is I forget. Sometimes that's the answer. Sometimes the answer is I'll bleep it in the first like couple minutes, and then I won't bleep it after if the video's monetized. So it kind of depends. I mean, ideally, I wouldn't have to censor any of them. But, you know, sometimes you go on a little streak where they don't demonetize you for a little while. But then they start hitting you again, and you have to start cleaning it up. You clean up your act a little bit. But ideally, I wouldn't cut out any of them.
Any small commentary Discord servers out there, Pyman met a Twitter user inside the community called IMALEXStan69. Pyman and IMALEXStan hit it off and quickly began flirting with each other on Discord and Twitter. Keep in mind, Pyman...
I'm Alex Stan 69. Out of all things that a teenage girl could be a fan of, I'm Alex. Don't they have like Charlie D'Amelio or something to be a fan of? Or, I don't fucking know. Chapel Roan? So dark. Imagine your child is like a huge I'm Alex fan. That sucks.
Was 15 at the time, and IMALEXStan was 13. Or at least, that's what Pyman thought, until someone later informed him that IMALEXStan was actually 12. In response, Pyman said that it now felt really weird, but at the same time, knowing that her age was lower than he thought actually turned him on more. Expectedly, the screenshot was then leaked to the public. Initially, this was met with a lot of ridicule, as you would imagine, but the situation was derailed when John Swan and his friends came in and began berating Pyman as if he were a file. They did outright say he wasn't, but their treatment of him and the other tweets implied something very different. Now, did Pyman deserve being called a file? No. To be clear, what Pyman said was incredibly weird, but he was again only 15 at the time. It was hard to pin him down as a vicious predator threatening children when he was also a kid and a social reject who hadn't even talked to a woman in real life, let alone a relationship.
Have you ever spoken to a female? Like, this is a genuine, like, do you know?
I'm gonna be honest. I have not had, I'm gonna be honest. I've not had an actual conversation with a female outside of Twitter.
I mean, that is funny, obviously, but at the same time, it's a 15-year-old kid, you know? He's fucking 15, bro. Like, come on. Whatever. It's kind of funny, but like, I don't know. I don't like this like gaggle of people bringing this fucking kid on stream to like collectively bully him for not talking to a girl in high school. Like, who cares? Once again, this is what I'm talking about with John. Like, I feel like he really liked to feel like the center of attention in a particular way. Like, YouTubers inherently are narcissistic, but I think he really liked to feel like he was at the center of some kind of like high school teen movie where he's like the Chad guy who's smarter and cooler than everyone else and gets to like own people. It would be funnier if it wasn't John Swan and his gang. I feel like it would be funnier if he was like, if Pie-Man had been like in real life being made fun of by some other 15-year-olds who were like his buddies, you know? Because that would be funny. But like, I don't know, on the internet on like the Drama Time podcast, whatever the fuck this is, it's just gay. Did I say JonTron? I meant John Swan. My bad.
Given he was 15, there was absolutely time for him to change if he took the correct steps and took a break from the internet to live a real life, instead of being engrossed in online degeneracy. But despite all of that, John Swan, Pieman's own idol, was at the head of the charge against him. This all culminated in a livestream on Drama Time, Pieman's drama podcast, where essentially everyone got to call in and bully.
I think I went on this podcast at some point. Hold on. Drama Time podcast. Turkey Tom. 3 years ago. May 1st, 2021. I completely forgot this happened.
I'm not going to be here for very long. I'm not going to be on for very long. I just, like... Dude. Like, what the f***? Like... Yeah. What the f***? I just...
I don't know why I said that. I'm not attracted to 12-year-olds. I don't know why I said that.
Why would you say it then?
I don't know.
Why would you say that? Out of everything you could have said, why did you say that?
That was, you know, it was a big up. It was something which is really bad. And I'm very stupid. I'm very an idiot.
You mean that's fine?
You still said it,
it's
though.
fine to say that, mate, but you said it in DMs, right? And you even cemented it because, earlier on when Cobra was in the call, you thought that wasn't going to get leaked. You thought that was going to say private. Why would you say that in private, not thinking it was going to get leaked if you didn't mean it?
Situation.
So you knew that it was bad. You knew what you were saying was bad. If that got out, you knew that it was bad. That's why you didn't want it to get leaked. So you knew what you were saying.
Dude, John just keeps screaming. I would hate to be a teenager on the internet now. I mean, just don't join like online communities. Just don't. There's generally no benefit to it, to be honest. There isn't. Like, for the most part, the less time I've spent in online communities, the better I have been in every single example, especially as like a YouTuber who, it's really easy to waste a lot of time on fucking Discord. But generally the better solution is just to focus on actually making videos. I remember back in the day, I feel like, not to gas myself up here, but my focus for the most part has always been making videos. But there were all these people that would spend all this time on Discord. They would spend this time like debating people on streams with like 30 viewers. They would do this. Even to this day, there are people who make commentary videos who like are arguing with other people who like they'll have like 5,000 subs and then the other guy will have like 3,000 and they're spending their time arguing with each other all the time over petty bullshit. It's like, don't you actually want to grow your channel and have like a large following? Wouldn't you want to talk about stuff that people in the general population actually want to hear about instead of making a video about poopy dupe shitty glup Charizard 12 who made a video calling you gay because you called out flip flop? Like, I just didn't get it. And I still don't get it, but these people do exist. It's like a self-defeating cycle.
You can't wiggle your way out of this one, mate. You can't wiggle your way out of this one.
Let me talk.
How is that not going to get leaked? Like, dude, can you not think like ahead?
Well,
like,
because
dude, how does that not get leaked?
She said that she wouldn't leak it, and of course
she's 12. Dude,
I went into damage control mode, and I really panicked
and
and
you
stuff.
lied.
And yes, I lied. That was really bad. And I don't have an excuse for that.
But if you legitimately feel this way, you need some help. You need to go. You need to log off. You need to like leave online settings because you cannot have a public platform when you've admitted to this stuff. And this stuff is going to haunt you now forever online. Like you've said that. That's come out. People are always going to know. You've tweeted some very horny tweets before, which has been really strange.
Sean is he's the police. He's the moral arbiter. Is 12 and 15 not legal? Well, it's not just that, but it's like, you know, there are important cases to talk about online with predators, but like a 15-year-old and a 12-year-old, like making it out like this kid is like a fucking like extremely predatory, if you're 15, you probably shouldn't be dating a 12-year-old, to be honest. You shouldn't be, or talking to one online. You probably shouldn't be. I don't think that's good. That's not good at all, you know? But, like, I don't know, like, does John Swan need to be involved in this, like, teenage drama? Like, call the kid's parents, I guess. I don't know. The age difference is not ideal, but the kid isn't Epstein. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's a little odd.
And I unfollowed you. That was partly the reason why I unfollowed you a few weeks ago. Looks like I dodged a fucking bullet there. And it shows that you don't have self-restraint and you can't think before you speak. You don't have self-awareness. And those are important traits.
It's like, once again, it sounds like even if you want to go after Pie Man, like the way that John is talking to him is like he gets a rise out of being like this condescending guy who gets to talk down to him and be like, this is what you need to do and this is how it is and this is, you know, you have no self-awareness, which you need to have. This will follow you forever. You're a fool. You lied. Like, it sounds so fucking cringe. It sounds so goddamn cringe. Couldn't buy the merch, so here's this, #StopGooning. I think it's all sold out.
Traits to have if you have an online platform. I don't know if this.
Yeah, exactly, Espy. He feels good being the big bro, for sure.
You can save yourself here, then. Like, this is something that's gonna be.
That's so normal. I mean, okay. So as far as so normal, what I'm saying is like when I was in high school, if I was 15, which would mean that I was a sophomore, and I knew that one of the sophomores was dating a 12-year-old, which would be a 7th grader, I would think that is weird. To be honest, I would think that was weird. I don't think it's like it's like the kid's like fucking Epstein, you know. But I would be like, that's kind of odd, you know. It's a little bit odd. I'm not saying that Pie Man is a pedophile. I'm not saying that. It's not even something I can fully describe why I feel that way. It's just like when I was in high school, I know that if I had a friend who was 15 that was dating a 12-year-old, I'd be like, why, you know.
With you for ages, and you need to get it sorted out. I don't even know if you can come back. I don't know if you should.
Unsurprisingly, this wouldn't end well, as after the livestream, Pieman posted his suicide note to Twitter. Thankfully, he would survive as his parents intervened and got him to therapy, and the situation entered a mellow lull. People felt as if they had taken stuff too far in the heat of the moment, but John retold the story in a very different light. You'd think by now that the YouTuber with 100,000 subscribers would just leave this frankly irrelevant alone once it got too serious, but he didn't. To his stream viewers, John said that Pieman was weaponizing his life to get out of the situation.
But at the end of the document, he said, I might just upload my...
You turned 15 in the 9th grade? Well, I didn't. I turned 15 in August, so I'm 14. I was 14 for all of freshman year, 15 for all of sophomore year, 16 for all of junior year, and 17 for all of senior year. I only turned 18 like 3 months after I graduated.
My next video and then myself. And I'm just, it came out later, okay, well, those weren't genuine. That wasn't a genuine thing. He literally turned around and said he's fine. So he tried to weaponize his suicide attempt to try and make us feel bad about him saying he was being attracted to a 12-year-old.
John also says that he was trying to stop Pieman from doing a stream.
And I told them, the first thing I got on there, I actually went on because I was like, guys, turn off the stream. This is, you shouldn't be streaming about this. Like, what are you doing?
Which is technically true.
In fact, you need to end the stream. You shouldn't even be live streaming right now because nothing that you're saying is even helping you, and it's actually making it worse. So you need to end the stream.
But what's important is that John.
What's important is that I still don't understand why he was just involved in all this Spurgy community drama. Like, he's a YouTuber with 100,000 subscribers. He should be focused on making videos that people want to watch, not calling Pie Man on Discord to berate him about whatever is going on in his DMs. You know what I mean? I don't think that was good.
John was trying to frame it as if it was his primary intention when it clearly wasn't. John just wanted to excitedly make fun of Pie Man and berate him some more.
Well, I wanted it to not get leaked because I could tell, out of context,
Yes, of course.
it looks
I
really
would want
bad.
that to get leaked either, Pie Man, because that's really incriminating. There's no context that makes that okay. There's no context that makes that okay. I'm sorry, there is no context. I'm like, dude, you just can't.
Much later, when Pieman uploaded a video asking John to apologize to him, John would hop onto Elucid's livestream and laugh at the video with a bunch of others.
I think I've provided enough information to prove that John is not perfect. He has made mistakes. Mistakes deserving of an apology. This is why I want everyone who watched this video to tweet #apologize_John Swan.
What the situations with Raintism, Elucid, and especially Pieman say about John Swan is more of a reflection of his ego. Again, let me make it clear that in all cases, he never had to get involved, and he genuinely could have just ignored them. It wasn't like a major story or a major point against.
Exactly. And especially like claiming that a 15-year-old is faking a suicide attempt. I mean, like for attention, like it's possible that could happen, but you have to have a pretty rare circumstance to be able to claim that. Typically, it's not a good idea to get involved in claiming that a fucking child that you just bullied online is faking a suicide attempt, as if it's all to make you look bad. Like, is it impossible to believe that a 15-year-old who, by his own admission, has never talked to a girl in real life, probably doesn't have a lot of real life friends, his whole life is on the internet, is it impossible to believe that that kid became a little bit, suicidal or depressive after getting bullied by a YouTuber he looks up to? Swan is incredibly sanctimonious. He is very self-righteous, yeah. I mean, he was. I don't, to be clear, this stuff all happened years ago. He might have completely changed. Things might have completely changed, He could be a completely different person now. All of this happened like 3-4 years ago, 5 years ago, so it's been quite a while. Cyberbullying isn't real. Turn your phone off, but if you had no one for less believable. I mean, but if you're a kid, it feels a lot more real, right?
Even with someone like Raintism, who had directly accused John Swan of bullying him into a heart attack, he had already rescinded his claim by the time John had made his stream. At least with Elucid, he thought he was clearing a false allegation. And with Pieman, it just doesn't make sense, especially when you consider that Raintism and Elucid were both adults, whilst again, Pieman was 15. Why would John do this? Is it some sort of a thrill or a sense of power from messing with these people, bullying them around and facing no repercussions because they're nobodies?
This kid's continually been like ratioed by bigger YouTubers, more like I like John, but like I'll say his name. John has been going at this kid for a while. The poor kid DM'd him something, or it might have been somebody else. He's like, "Can you lay off?"
Here's the deal. Here's my stance on that.
It's kind of funny that Aiden had this mature of a take on this back then, considering that at the time I think he was maybe the same age as Pie Man, or maybe like a year or two older than him.
When it's actual allegations, and when the kid is already like off the edge anyway, and you're trying to throw real, I'm just like, all right, this is just gonna you over in the future or whatever. I have no issue if people are ratioing the kid or whatever, just making fun of him or whatever. I can't take a stance against that because that'd be inherently hypocritical from my perspective. But you gotta calling the kid a pedo is a lot different than just making fun of him or just goofing on him or whatever. There's a little bit of a difference between that.
It's hard to convey how popular Dream was back in 2020 because when you hear his name nowadays, you usually think of something like this.
I'm in love with the minors.
But back before.
Okay, what was that? I've never heard that before. Yeah, Dream was pretty big back in the day. Somehow John managed to get him in his Minecraft video when he had 1 million subs. I do not know how John managed to convince him. Man, the Minecraft community was crazy regarding Dream. They fucking despised him, man. They absolutely hated him. Looking back, Dream was definitely very cringe and unlikable, but I think I just started to hate the rest of the Minecraft community more, which made me end up liking him in the end somehow.
all the allegations, Dream was on top of the online world. His Minecraft videos and the Dream SMP had captured the imagination of a generation of bored teenagers in the middle of a lockdown. But it didn't immediately start like this. Before Dream blew up and became as big as he was making videos that were more about the technicality of Minecraft. In fact, he was even interviewed by John Swan in his Minecraft video essay that we mentioned. In a way, Dream's path from then onwards was very much like John's. He had entered a community as a talented and underrated.
Wait, what the fuck? Wait, yo. Yes! What, is this real? Wait, what is this from? Whoa. It's official. Polycule expanded. Fuck yeah, dude. Yes. Fuck yeah, dude. That's fucking awesome. Yes! Chris is back! Fuck yeah! Chris! That's what's up, Chris! Can I join or what? Can I join or what? Can I join? Polycule Polycule expanded. No. No. Why? Why? Why is it real? Dude, this should not be fucking real. Why is it literally... Why? Why Polycule? It's the fucking meme. Bruh. The Polycule is... At long last, the Polycule is expanding.
Creator, and through a number of well-made videos, had skyrocketed to the top of the Minecraft community, changing how a lot of other creators operated. And just like John, there were things to criticize him on. In gaining his popularity, Dream had attracted a loyal and fervent fandom of young people obsessed with him and his work, fitting nicely under the label of stans. He would be trending every single day on Twitter due to thousands of people tweeting about something he had said or joked about on his stream. And although this is not a blanket representation of everyone, some of these fans were crazy people who doxed, harassed, and drew graphic gore art of people they hated or even loved. It even came to the point that Dream had to Photoshop out the reflection in his cat's eyes when posting a picture so that his fans couldn't find out who he was. And despite those facts, Dream would continue to actively encourage their toxic behavior.
He did, for sure. He acknowledged this, I think, a little bit in his response video. But he definitely did, like, encourage it to an extent. Because, I mean, he was benefiting from it, and probably he didn't want to piss off his fans. There was that one particularly egregious copy pasta he made about kittens. I genuinely love and care about you guys. And that's the best way that I can describe it. You're like a whole bunch of kittens, and I love you. Not every creator will feel the same as me, and that's fine. But I'm being genuine every time I say it. I love you and care about you. Great, dude. Fire. That's, normal way to interact with your fans, especially a bunch of fucking losers, a bunch of non-binary teenagers on Twitter. This is the way to interact with them.
And despite those facts, Dream would continue to actively encourage their toxic behavior. Perhaps it's no surprise then that when his rabid fanbase turned on him, not much sympathy was to be had. At the time, John Swan had just finished his collaboration with Nicholas Diorio, looking into the YouTuber Deji, and was moving towards the future. He was now planning to work with a smaller and very talented commentary creator known as Cordwit on his video encompassing Dream's controversies, and in order to promote it, John would post tweets highlighting the issues with Dream and his fanbase. This got him the usual backlash, but it did also get him on Dream's radar, and after a post in which John was gloating about his recent Twitter growth, Dream responded on a small subreddit. This guy is bad news. A while back, right after I interviewed with him for a Minecraft documentary, he changed his profile picture and name on Discord to mine, and started DMing people pretending to be me. He sent people the N-word and a lot of other stuff, as well as said sexual stuff, whilst claiming that it was me, and giving his main Twitter to vouch, where he would then from his main Twitter vouch that it was me and say that we were amazing friends and link the documentary to prove it. Once I confronted him about it, very nicely given
And to be clear, what's described here is not that bad. Like, it's kind of, should you impersonate, other YouTubers online? Probably not. But I don't think that this had a great negative effect on Dream's career. And in general, the commentary community, I mean, it depends on where you go in the commentary community, but in general, that, this little community that existed that is called the commentary community with Nick and Augie and all those guys is edgy, so they wouldn't care, right? Like, these are the same guys that defended me for being edgy back in the day, for sure. So realistically speaking, he wouldn't have even gotten shit. Like, John would not have lost friends over saying the N-word while pretending to be Dream on Discord. No one would care. It wouldn't really matter. So, the fact that he lied about it after the fact was just a completely unnecessary thing. But he dug his hole pretty deep with this. It almost felt like he just didn't want it. He didn't want Dream to win. It seems to me like Dream said this, and John didn't want it to seem like Dream, I don't know, won the drama or had something over on him.
The circumstances, he said that his friend had hacked his account and done it. I didn't reply to him and unfollowed him, and I don't think he is super fond of me since then. John would promptly respond to this comment by clarifying that a while ago, whilst visiting some family friends, he had logged into his account on someone else's.
The autistic 12-year-old cousin, yeah. Back probably a year ago, I was visiting some family friends. One of the guys I was talking to was much younger than me and wanted to know about YouTube and what I did to make videos. Since I didn't have my PC with me at the time, I logged into Discord on his laptop and showed him some things I had screenshotted and sent to other people. Before I left, I foolishly didn't log out of my account. I decided it would be a good idea to start trolling on my account with his friends and use an alt account as well as my account to have conversations with about 3 different people. One of these people was Harley TBSYT, TBYST, whatever. I remember at the time that this happened, I think that Tommy C once again accused John of lying or said this story didn't make sense. And everybody was like shitting on him, calling him retarded for it. He would have been all right if he was upfront about it or stayed silent. Yeah, he could have just said nothing. Like, he was responding to a Reddit thread about him with like 300 likes. Like, it wasn't going to matter. It wasn't going to really hurt him. But once again, John seemed to really care about his image a lot. He seemed to care about feeling superior, feeling like he won in these dramas. And this is one of them where I guess he just couldn't let it go. I hope that, to be clear, John is very annoying in this video, but he's changed since then, I assume. So, I wish him the best. I hope he's not like that anymore. And to be honest, if John Swan came back and made good commentary videos now, I would probably watch him and they'd probably be fucking fire. They probably would be. He probably changed. Back then, he wasn't egomaniac, but, I mean, he was 20 years old, I've had some pretty bad moments online that I'm not proud of, but, he was young. I said John Swan. Did I say John Tron? I definitely said John Swan. Ludwig Horsecock, you're fucking with me. You're fucking with me on purpose. I just got off work. I have an hour drive home. I'll give you 5 if you're still alive. I probably will be. But yeah, I think that if John came back, his videos would be good. There's no way I said John Tron. You're fucking with me. Fuck off, dude. I like John Tron. I don't want to accidentally say something about him, even if it's obvious that I wasn't talking about him.
His laptop to teach a younger member of his family about YouTube. The annals of history have since referred to this person as the 12-year-old autistic cousin based on
the 12-year-old autistic cousin, yes!
How John describes them. John states that he foolishly forgot to log out, and this kid would start trolling on his account. He messaged the YouTuber Harley TBS and redirected them to an alternate account disguised as Dream, where he talked about such topics like the Minecraft sex mod that he was working on.
The Minecraft sex mod, I forgot that was a part of the memes. The Minecraft sex mod is fucking fire. The Minecraft sex mod. That was already a real thing, though. Futuristic Hub made that back in the day, so shout out to him for pioneering Minecraft boobs.
Noting that Harley is now known as a channel with well over 100,000 subscribers and a prominent voice in the art commentary community, but back in 2021 when this happened, they had barely 1,000 subscribers and was generally quite annoying, something I'm sure they will tell you themselves. Harley was less known for the content they made, and more for spamming friend requests on Discord to any and every big content creator that they got into contact with. As soon as John found out about the trolling, he says he logged down all accounts and spoke to the cousin, telling him to stop and change the account back. Dream didn't buy this, and showed the Twitter messages where he confronted John on what happened. The two went back and forth, and John's audience and friends obviously believed him, considering...
Man, Dream is such a condescending scumbag. He accused John of downright lying publicly on Reddit and has the audacity to play the victim. Not only that, he acts like this altercation was John's fault, even though he, the massive YouTuber, started it. I think the most perplexing shit is why Dream ran to a tiny-ass Reddit sub under a random-ass post to accuse John of lying on his main account. Over a video, might I add, that's not even going to be on John's main channel. This is happening because of a collab. Well, there's no way Nick could have known. Looking back, I feel pretty bad for him, because he was going out of his way, he didn't need to defend John time and time again when John was actively lying to everyone. John Swan was actively lying to every fucking YouTuber. Every YouTuber defended him at the time. I remember, I don't think I did, because I'm based. But I do remember, let's say Optimus was defending him and shitting on Dream. Obviously, Nick was. There were definitely maybe Diesel Patches. I don't know. There were a bunch of commentary guys that were talking about the situation. And ultimately, everyone felt pretty betrayed when they found out John had lied to everyone. I think that definitely had a big sinker on his career. I think that if John had fucked up like a story or something, like let's say he like got a detail wrong in a story, I think he would have been fine. The problem that he ran into is that he torched personal relationships with YouTubers that were supposed to be his friend. And that really went poorly. That really went poorly. Nick didn't know he was so pissed afterwards. Yeah, obviously. Obviously he was pissed. He was... Well, Nick, I remember Nick was like arguing with people over this. I think he was arguing with Tommy C about it at the time because Tommy and Nick both had no evidence either way, right? Nick believed John, Tommy believed Dream, and they were arguing over it. And I think that Nick almost like fucking burned a bridge with Tommy over this situation. I think he did.
His credibility. I'm so sorry about all the Dream...
Over them arguing about, you know, John. And in the end, it was all for nothing because John was full of shit. So Nick was just defending him. Being lied to, you know. Nick got burned there. He got burned in a major way.
Related tweets on the timeline, but I just quickly wanted to add this. Why would I, as a creator wanting to get big on the platform, try to smear another popular creator by creating an alt account and sending troll messages to one person? This just makes no sense at all, optically and logically. Anyone that knows me in private knows I don't do shit like this. It just isn't true. This is a smear, plain and simple. On February 16th, 2021, Dream went live on Twitch to over 300,000 viewers dressed in a detective version of his skin. In this stream, Dream shows the DMs of the alt account supposedly made by the 12-year-old autistic cousin. In this, he points out that the kid referred to Harley's dispute with LT Cobra.
Can't blame him for being loyal. Yeah, I mean, ultimately, that was Nick's worst crime, just being loyal to someone and believing them. But in fairness, he had no reason to believe that, you know, John was lying. And on top of that, you know, John was lying directly to Nick, telling him this, you know, so yeah, it was pretty difficult.
So how could a 12-year-old log in and know about this person's pre-existing drama with...
Haven't heard of Optimus in a long time. Yeah, we'd actually, a little blast from the past. Optimus John Swan. John Swan lied to all of us about Dream.
All right, what's going on, everybody? So this is a pretty weird video to make because I don't really remember any other situations like this kind of unfolding. This is pretty crazy in all reality here, man. So the commentary community has been sort of flipped on its head instantaneously overnight. This all happened pretty much while I was asleep, and I wake up, I log into Twitter, I'm looking through it and everything. The first few things that I start seeing are about John Swan, right? I've got DMs and all kinds of stuff, and I start looking through this, and it comes out that John Swan lied about everything in this whole Dream situation. The one...
And there were like 40 videos like this at the time. It was bad. It was bad. It's crazy how he did this to himself. He's the one who turned this into a huge deal. Barely makes sense. Plot twist, Chris Hansen hacked John's account, wrote an apology when John was away traveling. I was super close to making a video about the whole situation when it went down a few weeks ago. I'm honestly lucky I never got around to it. Wild to wake up and see all this happen in the morning. Yeah, it is pretty wild. Thank you, Spawn of Thanos, for becoming a member. Drama is such a whirlwind on commotion. I feel like some slip through the cracks, like Cody Ko. I mean, did that slip through the cracks? There's a lot of videos about Cody Ko. I actually saw recently that I think on the H3 podcast, they had brought up some post of some girl saying that she met Cody and his wife or something, and that Cody said he would be coming back to making videos soon, which is interesting. I want to see Cody like respond to the allegations in some way, honestly.
Someone else. Dream also notes that the alt account is now named Nicholas Diorio, which...
This was so funny with Gus Fring as a profile picture. I think I saw these DMs and I was like, wait, this is like clearly Lieutenant Cobra or something. They're fucking around on Discord. They used to troll all the time back in the day.
As we know, is one of John's closest friends.
Like once I saw the actual DMs, I think I was like, all right, John probably lied. I don't think I was super sure of it, but I think I was like, he probably lied.
Again, unlikely that a 12-year-old would know this. So who was running this account? Was it actually Nicholas Diorio? At this point, Keemstar also jumped in because of course he did. Keemstar offered both John Swan and Dream an opportunity to come on Drama Alert for an interview. John denied, saying his manager advised him against.
Who the fuck was his manager, by the way? Who was John Swan's? Did he have a manager? Maybe it was just like his YouTube, maybe it was just the rep from his like sponsorship agency, but I didn't know that he had a fucking manager. I don't have a manager. Where's my manager? He had 100,000 subs. I have like 1 million. Where's my manager? No one's managing me.
It, whilst Dream accepted and pointed out more inconsistencies in John's argument.
The story just...
No, it doesn't make any sense. And the thing is, there's so many inconsistencies, and something I didn't even mention on my stream, which I think is is actually a really big deal, is that in between the time period where he claimed he didn't have access to his account and he got hacked by the 12-year-old kid that he says did it, according to Harley, which is the only witness, because Harley was the one that was being messaged, the account never went offline. So the account was online the entire time between when he claims he didn't have access and then he messaged them saying he did have access. And according to them, because it was only a 10-minute period, the account never went offline during that period. So the account was online the entire time while he was apparently doing password resets and stuff.
The ball was now firmly in John Swan's court, and he would respond with an eloquently written 8-page document. It starts by recapping the history of the drama before going over Dream's questions and refuting them point by point, reasoning that he forgot multiple aspects of the situation. Why did the kid know about LT Cobra and Harley TBS's drama? Well, the day prior, Cobra had sent John screenshots of him arguing with Harley, and Cobra was the last person that messaged John at the time. Why was the account renamed Nicholas DiOrio? Well, Nick had appeared in a lot of John's videos, which the kid had seen, and Nick has a big meme culture around him in the community. And why trust Dream?
It just doesn't make sense that some 12-year-old kid would make him his name on Discord Nicholas DiOrio. It just doesn't make sense. Or frankly, I don't think it makes sense that a lot of 12-year-olds were watching John Swan. Maybe like, you know, I could see like early high schoolers watching John Swan, but like 12-year-olds, really? I don't know. I don't really see it. They're busy watching fucking Dream, actually. Thanks Dark Star Harry for becoming a member. His retarded 12-year-old cousin was his manager. That's cool, though. We need one of those. SB, do you have a retarded cousin we can get to help out with the merch? I feel like he'd be more organized than you, all right? I'm hearing a lot of bad things on the grapevine, okay? I heard that you shipped out a piece of merch and it said, start gooning. I didn't approve that, did I? We need the 12-year-old autistic manager, all right? I think we do.
Dream when he's been accused of cheating in a Minecraft speedrun. Now, some of this reasoning might be absurd now, but with the context, you can understand why others believed it. Keep in mind, John's last big expose was against Chris Hansen for sending a doxer after him. Dream misunderstanding this incident was probable, and again, most of the commentary community threw their weight behind their trusted friend.
The funny part of this, and I guess like the part that really resonates with all the audience, is this just does not sound like something John would do.
I don't think I've ever heard John say a slur. I don't think I've ever heard that
this
before.
Posh little prick is out there apparently making fake
This kid
accounts.
plays the fucking violin, dude. Like he's not.
This dude literally played the violin on.
He's not gonna. He's not gonna go on stream and be like, "Oh, we don't like it." Yeah, he's not gonna do that.
They believe
he might. I'd be a fan.
Dream, this massive YouTuber, had thrown John under the bus. Little did they know, John was throwing them under the bus the entire time. On the night of February 26, 2021, messages started going around in the commentary community stating that John had lied about Dream.
All right, I'm gonna illuminate what happened here, chat. I'm gonna illuminate what happened. All right, I'll explain the lore. We'll do a little. I think that I told this story in my video. I don't remember. Here's the way it went down. Okay, me and I was in college. It was freshman year of college. Okay, freshman year of college. I was 18 years old. Bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, and I was sitting on Discord. All right. I don't remember what I was doing. Maybe I was gaming. I think I was playing Minecraft with my friends. I think I was playing Minecraft with. Actually, I know who it was. They probably don't want to be named, but I know who it was. We're playing Minecraft, and we're talking about the John thing. And one of them says, "Hey, I'm pretty sure that John lied. I actually know that he lied." And I was like, "Really?" And I was like, "How do you know that?" He was like, "The reason I know is because this guy told me." And I was like, "Really?" And he was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "This guy told me that he had a call with John when it happened back in the day when he was trolling Dream and John said it was him." And I was like, "Really? Do you have that DM? I don't really believe you." And he was like, "Yeah, I have it." So he sent me the DM. And he was like, "Whatever you do, don't save it." And I was like, "Okay." And I was screen sharing at the time for some reason. I don't know why. But I right-clicked it on Discord. I opened it in a new tab in Chrome, so it's sitting there. And I didn't realize I was still screen sharing. So he was like, "Wait, I thought you weren't going to save it." And I was like, "I'm not going to save it. What do you mean? I'm not going to save it." And I was like, "I got to go to the bathroom." So I hung up and I immediately called Nicholas DiOrio and showed him the DM. That's what happened. So yeah, that's basically the way that went. And then I think after that, Nick called him and that was it. I think my buddy, I think there was kind of an understanding, even though he told me he didn't want me to leak it. I think he knew I would. And I think the guy who sent it to him knew that he would leak that. It was kind of a multiple layers of people who didn't want to be the guy, but I wanted to be the guy. So I was the fucking guy and I did it. Okay. I did it. So yeah, that's the way that went, I guess. It was an epic moment, dude.
The rumor was that there was no 12-year-old autistic.
This was years ago. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. I don't know, but would I do it today? Maybe not, but maybe I would. I don't know. I like shit stirring, I guess, a little bit. I wanted to see it go down. And also I felt bad because Nick was lied to. So there's that too. But mostly probably I was shit stirring. Would you rather have your hands chopped off or your feet? No prosthetics. You just have to live without one of them? Definitely feet. I'd rather have my feet chopped off. I'll just get fat.
Their cousin. It was all made up. John had done this troll, orchestrated it all along with LT Cobra, and then went to message the right opinion on WhatsApp where he admitted to it. This rumor led to Nicholas DiOrio confronting John Swan on a now infamous private call.
I'm not mad at you. I just want you to, like, 100% assure me that there's no possible way, there's no mix-up that could have happened. Like, there's no way that you could possibly be not telling me the entire truth.
No, there's no way.
There's no way that you could have, like... It doesn't add up, dude. There's no way that you and Cobra were just f***ing around with Harley or whatever, and then you didn't expect Dream to respond, and you just said, like, you made up something on the spot or whatever, and then you just, like, you weren't expecting it to ever come back up again, and it came back up again, and it was just a big show, and you just tried to bury it, and then it got bigger, and then you just f***ing made a document. There's no way that's what happened.
I'm trying really hard here because Nick.
Dude, I'm not gonna go make a f***ing video on you. Okay, I'm just asking because I want to know, because, like, I feel like I already know the answer, so it's, like, really, like, there's no reason to lie to me.
If you know the answer, then you know the answer.
So you did it.
That's what I'm gonna say.
John,
if you know, you know.
No, I'm not. I don't know. Who knows? If you know the answer, you know the answer.
If you know, you know.
Do you think they don't have... All right, wait. You think they don't have you saying it? They do.
So awkward.
No, they do.
No, they don't. No, they don't.
Dude, it's brutally awkward. It's like dawning on John that they found out. He's like, there's impossible. There's just simply no way. There's simply no way that could be the case. It's just impossible. I covered my tracks.
John, it's not on his Twitter account. It's on his WhatsApp.
No, it's not me that sent that. Nick.
The kid sent it?
I don't know who that is.
John, this is crazy.
I don't know who that was.
John.
I don't know who that was.
I don't know. Who was that? I don't know. I spoke to Troy the other day. That's how I know. Basically, the outcome of that was he had told people, but it wasn't as many as what I'm.
What made it to me?
So
they told people.
I assume things have. Assume things have spread, but that doesn't really matter because what matters is where it started, and if that person isn't going to come forward with anything, then it doesn't really matter. I mean, these screenshots coming.
See, he thought he would just get away with it because I think he thought that Nick wouldn't expose him in the end. Essentially, I think that's essentially the way it went. I think that he thought he could confess to Nick and Nick wouldn't do anything about it. The thing is, someone's going to figure it out eventually. Someone's going to figure it out. It's going to happen. You can't really hide something like that forever. The obvious answer is hands. Good luck filming your Tom IRL vids on your ankle nubs. Do you know Boy and have an opinion? I mean, I don't know them personally. I just talked about them earlier. I've seen some videos of theirs that I like.
From third hand doesn't mean a thing.
So you're basically just okay with saying that, like, it didn't happen because Tro's not going to put out the screenshot?
Yes.
It's crazy how John is so comfortable with saying that he'll just continue because he knows the right opinion won't put out the screenshots. It's just completely slimy. Unfortunately for John, the one thing he banked on was Nick just following his command and not putting anything out. Clearly that didn't work because early in the next day, Nick posted a thread stating that John had lied to him for the past few weeks. This led to another call where John is clearly panicked and distraught that his lie has been uncovered.
I had to. I know. No, I did. I definitely did.
No.
What?
No. What the
dude?
This is like a movie. This call is like a movie. Just finding out that it's all over. It's all coming crumbling down. It's fucking brutal, man. It's fucking. Just no, you didn't. This is not the way. I remember the line. This is not the way.
Talk. Go.
No, it's just why,
dude.
You can't, dude.
What do you mean? How is this any worse?
So Tro is the one who told you? No, he told someone who told me, and then I told Nick, and then Nick told John. That's the way it went, I guess.
Then literally just lying to my I don't know how much you've lied to me about, dude. I have no idea how much you've lied to me about, but if you're willing to lie on, like, that big of a public spectrum, do you think, like, people shouldn't know about it? But I'm just sitting here thinking, it's just like, you haven't been up front with me in any capacity. Why would, like, holy shit, dude. I don't know. I thought we were, like, cooler than that. I thought you wouldn't, like, fucking, like, completely screw me over.
So, I mean, you get the idea. John got caught in a big lie here. It did torch his credibility a little bit. In the short term, it torched it a lot, but I think that he was a good enough YouTuber that people would be willing to forgive him in the long term, especially with how hated Dream was. It was like, all right, well, John fucked up really bad. He lied to all of us, but he could still make good videos that we would watch, right? Because he was better at making videos than most people. But, I mean, through a series of other dramas with, I don't know, Pie Man and Destiny and all this other Spurg shit, basically torched his own career. To this day, I think he's still... I want to say he edits for other people or something, but I don't really know. But yeah, You know what? I think if John Swan came back, I would probably watch his videos. They would probably be good. If he wrote his own videos, they would probably be good. And if he wanted an editing job, I would hire him probably, because he would probably be a good editor, to be honest with you. So, John Swan, if you're watching this, hey, buddy, I'm watching you. I'm watching you, all right? The Turkey team, the greatest team in the world, all right? You never know. You never know what could happen. Imagine me not ripping off Nick Diorio, you being good at editing. Imagine the magic that could happen there. Just got here. What did John Swan do? He had gay sex, basically, and Nicholas J. Diorio, the host of America First, Nick Diorio, he had a problem with it, basically. That's this TLDR. Yeah, Nick is just racist, but that's basically the deal. That's what happened. It's sad the way it went down, you know?